In this topic, we're going to talk about leadership. And I really enjoy the topic and the discussion of leadership. In fact, leadership for me is what it all comes down to. When we get inside of an organization and we take apart the organization and we realize what makes this organization successful or unsuccessful, we'll see that a huge part of that takes place around the leadership of the firm. Now, as you're going through these different concepts and these theories that are inside of this topic, pay special attention, because a lot of the times we think of leadership as only from this top-down process that managers, executives, right? Sometimes we think, oh, they're the only ones that can have leadership and create change within the firm. But that's not true. Anyone, regardless of position, can be involved in leadership. And our first day, right, when I go out and I start a new job, my first day on the job, I can make a positive change and a positive influence throughout the organization as a whole. Now, if you think about leadership and we look through the history of leadership, we can see that leadership is a lot different than what people perceive as leadership, right? If we go out on the street and we talk to people and we say, hey, what is leadership to you? A lot of them will think, well, leadership, that's like this abstract concept, and it pertains only to a few people, the presidents of countries, the presidents of organizations, the great people throughout history, Napoleon, Washington, right? And some of these people that actually changed the course of history. But research over the last 100 years has actually evolved from that common perception of leadership to something much more specific. In fact, if we go through and look at all the different studies that have been done on leadership, we realize that leadership, in its simplest form, comes down to three things: people, influence, and goals. And so as you think about that, right, we all know what people are. We all know what goals are. But it's the influence, right? It's that action word that takes place that really makes a difference inside of organizations. And so, when I'm up in front of a class and I'm talking to them about what leadership is, I say, let's find out who the most important leader in your life has been, whether for good or for bad. And so I say, who has influenced you more than anyone else, right? So think about that for a second. Who has influenced you more than anybody else in the world? Is it a teacher, a sports coach, a community leader, a religious leader, a parent or grandparent? Who is it? And if we think about that, we say, wow, yeah, that person influenced me more than anybody else. That person helped create who I am today more than anyone else in the world. And once we can identify who that influencer is, we can take it a step further and say, okay, that person, whether for good or bad, hopefully for good, has been the greatest leader in my life. And what can I learn from that person? And what can I take away in my own personal life to then make me a better leader, a better influencer